Hey, Pastor Dan here from Dexter Gospel Church. Thanks for watching this Proverbs Practical. Today's proverb begins one of the most unique passages in all of ancient literature. We're in Proverbs 31, verse 10. It says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." So this next section of Proverbs is another acrostic poem, like Psalm 119, several other psalms and passages in Lamentations. Each verse begins with one of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet arranged in order. Of course, this doesn't come through in English like it does in Hebrew. There's no way we can translate it over so that each verse begins with A and then B and then C, but that's how it's laid out in Hebrew. Likely this was done because it was so important that they wanted it to be easy to memorize, and acrostics are easy to remember. The subject matter was what makes it really unique, though. In Middle Eastern culture, women often were not thought of very highly. Especially among kings and leaders, one might have multiple wives. But you'd be hard-pressed to find anything like this exaltation of women and femininity anywhere else in ancient Eastern or Middle Eastern literature. It's the Bible that proclaims that men and women are equally made in the image of God. We are different, but neither is more or less valuable or meaningful than the other. Now, most of Proverbs is written from a father to a son, so we see a lot of guidance that applies mostly to men. It's relevant to everyone, but it's framed as being man to man. This chapter, though, is different. The first part comes from a woman relayed through her son, and this part speaks admiringly of the ideal woman. Now, the woman presented here is probably not a specific person. That is, he's not sketching a character sketch of somebody he knows personally, but rather an idealized person. This is the feminine ideal in Scripture. These are the qualities to which women should aspire and the qualities that men should desire and admire in women. And just as many of the qualities of the men in Proverbs that we're urged toward are good for everyone to develop, whether they be men or women, many of this woman's qualities are worthy of imitation by everyone, man or woman. Few individuals might attain to this completely, but it's something that everyone should strive toward. So how is she described? Well, first it speaks of her as being virtuous. And this is what's telling us that this is the ideal woman. The word is enormously broad and varied in its interpretation and translation. In fact, the word translated virtuous here is translated army more often than anything else. But it's also used to refer to wealth, to ability, to activity. The root idea of it seems to be that of capacity or capability. In this context, it seems to sum up physical capability, mental capability, emotional capability, and moral or spiritual capability. This person has not just one or two good virtues or good qualities, but she is characterized by virtue. She has good qualities throughout her whole character. Lately, it's become stylish to translate this word in this passage, valor, a woman of valor. But I think that is much too limiting. I think virtuous encompasses that whole body of virtues that this person possesses. Well, finding such a woman of great capability and capacity in these areas, is tremendously difficult. And translators differ on whether the rubies that are spoken of here are specifically that stone ruby, or if they're pearls or some other precious stone. But nobody questions their value or rarity. The average person then never had the opportunity to attain multiple precious stones like this. They aren't just valuable, they're also rare. When you find them, you treasure them and admire them. And just as rubies would be the single most valuable object or item that you could ever find, a virtuous woman would be the most important, precious, valuable person you might encounter, and it speaks of her not as being a possession equal in value to great price, but rather her worth being more than that of any possession. Rather than being a slave, an equivalent to the livestock, or something else demeaning, God and the ideal husband viewed the ideal woman as a precious treasure, exquisite, rare, and valuable. I hope this video is a help to you. If so, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more comments from the Scriptures. Until next time, I hope you stay well and strive for God's ideals.